What year did Lake Placid come out?
Oh, I don't know,
Let me
2000
see.
something.
Oh,
Good.
there's a sequel. I did not know there was a sequel.
Yeah, don't watch the sequels. Plural.
Okay.
They're horrendous.
We're officially recording, and as I mentioned, guys, we're doing a actually, sorry, I'm lying to you guys at the beginning. We're doing we're doing a spoiler review over the 2019 movie Crawl, and Kenneth is here.
Hi, I'm Kenneth.
Kenneth is a friend of the channel, veteran of the channel, so salute, please.
Salute, yeah.
This is another Sam Raimi produced movie.
Yeah.
Does he know? Having him like sign off on stuff, and he's just like, I trust it.
They're like, flower delivery, sign here and here, please. And he signs. They're like, got him. Now he's a producer.
Got it. Well, I'll tell you what the internet says the movie is about. So It says, when a massive hurricane hits her Florida town, young Haley ignores the evacuation orders to search for her missing father, Dave. After finding him gravely injured in their family home, with the storm strengthening, this is really long, please Jesus, Haley and Dave discover an even greater threat than the rising water level. A relentless attack from a pack of giant alligators.
A pack? Is that the correct term for a group of alligators?
I don't think so.
What is a group of alligators called? It sounds. It's a congregation. What's up?
Oh.
With this movie, if you take anything away from this movie, it should be that you learned that tidbit from us.
What would you say the movie is about if someone said, hey, I'm looking to watch this movie, tell me about it?
Yeah, I actually wrote notes this time, unlike the 65 one. I would describe this movie as a creature feature about, I was going to say Olympic train, but she's not Olympic. She's like a university swimmer trying to save her dad from I put army of alligators because alliteration's fun, in Florida during a hurricane. That's what I put. And I think that's pretty apt. Like, a creature feature is the most important part about this thing. It's like, yeah, I would say, like, if you didn't know anything about this movie and you just heard the title, you would be like, what? What is Crawl? What is Crawl for? Like, there's no implication that it's about alligators whatsoever, purely based on the title.
When I first saw the title, I was like, is it because this takes place in like a crawl space and they're like,
yeah, dude,
I
kept thinking the same thing in my head when we were watching, or when I was rewatching like trailers and stuff. I was just like, what if they called it crawl space? And then the twist was it was alligators crawling in the space. Easily, they could have named the movie Swim. He's like, because she's a swimmer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I didn't love the title, and I know I'm nitpicking. It's a very weird thing to nitpick about, but I don't know. It's whatever. It's a movie title. It can be whatever they want it to be. It's fine.
I would say the same thing. I would say that this is a creature feature, equal parts family drama and creature feature. But yes, it's about a girl who aspires to have a career in swimming, has a very complicated relationship with her dad now that her mother's gone, and it takes a group of alligators to bring them together. It's kind of what I said, but I was like, that sounds like a motivational
congregation of alligators bringing this family together. I hate to compare, but there's a different, it's a alligator or crocodile movie, I guess. One of my favorite movies of all time. It's a creature feature called Lake Placid.
Yes, I was like,
giant crocodile. And and I think like that movie exemplifies realism more than this movie does regarding the actual creature, despite that one being a giant, like a literal, super ancient giant monster alligator crocodile. They just treat it with more sincerity, I find, than this movie did. This movie was like almost like they genuinely were treating the creatures not like live predators, apex predators. They were treating them like Michael Myers, or like a horror villain haunting you and chasing you down.
What year did Lake Placid come out?
Oh, I don't know, 2000 something.
1999.
1999.
Oh my god.
Damn, boy, I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's so good.
There's a sequel. I did not know there was a sequel.
Yeah, don't watch the sequels. Plural. They're horrendous.
Oh my god.
I saw part of one and it's just horrendous.
Oh, that's bad. I mean, distributed by Sci-Fi.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you need to know. They treated the stuff sincerely, but they didn't take the movie too seriously. They did stuff like the cow and like the silly people walking around being silly and like all this crazy stuff. But like, I don't know, this movie, I don't know. They tried to be edgy, gritty, dark, but it just came off kind of comical. Like, even when we were all watching together, there was maybe moments of us just laughing out loud, like, what?
The first time I watched it, I kind of felt that, but I felt it more the second time I watched it. I was like, yeah, because I think they wanted to really tell that story about this family, but at the same time have this looming threat of the congregation coming after them. It wanted to
Right.
be like this scary kind of movie, but then also have like some kind of goofy parts with the storytelling and then like the plot armor.
Plot armor was very shiny in this movie.
Yeah, the main character, Haley, she
Mm.
gets attacked at some point.
Several
Okay, yeah,
times.
several times. The first time she gets her leg gets chomped, but like it's
Yes. Oh my gosh,
still,
yes.
and so you think it's gonna be a problem throughout the movie, but like she's
No, no,
swimming full
no. That's
speed.
right. She's actually swimming faster than an alligator.
Sherry was just like, "This woman is not real," and I was just
Yeah,
like,
my wife was like, "What the hell is happening right now?"
jumping and leaping over things without being injured anymore. And I know sometimes movies do
Yeah.
that where when people write movies, they'll forget like, oh, this person was injured on page 6
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, that's basically what it felt like. They just ordered the injuries incorrectly. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
they shouldn't have done the leg first. That doesn't make sense to me. You know,
yeah.
if they wanted us to like if they wanted to treat like the gators were taking bits and pieces of bites out of her until the end where she tragically passes, I'd be like, "Dang, that was earned, right? We got
Yeah.
there. She fought through, her dad survives and she died because she worked so hard." Spoiler alert, she doesn't die. Or I guess we're you're expecting a spoiler. Okay, where does she get injured? She gets bit on the leg, she gets bit
Mhm.
on the arm. Later on, she actually gets death rolled, if I remember
Yes.
correctly. Like so
Yeah.
there are like these clearly increasingly deadly injuries that she sustains that just went in the incorrect order entirely. And if they
Mhm.
went in the correct order, then we would be able to be like, "Oh good, she got, she got the really really serious injury near the end, so there's a chance she survived." But in the order that we went to, she would have like, and I'm no scientist, but she would have totally bled out or been incapacitated. Because, like, remember when she finds her dad at the beginning, or not at
Oh
the
yeah.
beginning, like 30 minutes in, he's
Yeah.
passed out. He's done. And all he has is like 3 scratches on his shoulder. It's like, wait. Did he also get like gut punched by the gator? Why is he knocked out? What's happening right now?
I agree with that. I do think that we did lose somebody of importance. Wayne.
Yeah, I knew you were going to talk about Wade, but he had the coolest death by far. He got like full
Oh,
snap trapped. He's looking into the cellar, and it's one of those like classic farm cellar doors that open from the outside of the house. And he's like, "Hey man, I got the," and then the gator just comes up and like fully clap traps him like the Jaws poster. That was actually sick. I genuinely thought that was so
yeah.
dope. Yeah,
Poor Wayne. All he
yeah,
wanted to do was be good at his job and
yeah.
then like maybe kind of like flirt with
Well,
Haley.
he didn't
So
even
it's just
do a
like,
good
oh,
job. His only job was to tell her not to go that way, and then he's like, "All right, can't stop you," and then she just goes.
can't stop.
Like
Doesn't
what?
block it off.
Yeah,
Doesn't like call to let anyone know that
yeah.
she's drove in.
It was like a
Yeah.
light suggestion.
The movie was an hour, pretty much an hour and a half, a little under.
Yeah, I
Um,
thought it was a good length,
yeah,
definitely.
I thought it was too. This movie, if it had been longer, one, I think it just would have been just drawn out more than it needed to be.
Totally.
But I'm
Yeah.
like, if they made it longer, what could they have done to this? I was gonna say, what could they have done to this movie? But maybe they would have had more time for the actual stakes.
Perhaps, yeah,
Yeah,
perhaps. Because, like, I thought they did a good job building up the relationship as we went along. It was a little
yeah.
bit disjointed in the flashbacks, and like, I don't know, this thread of apex predator that the father kept saying to Haley was like kind of cringe, but like it's
Mhm.
definitely something that is believable. That like, a headstrong parent would, find a latching key term and like drill that into their child's mind if they have high hopes for them. So like that was cringe but fine. I thought that
Yeah.
was delivered and written in a way that I was like, I accept this. If the movie was longer, I think they could have done more and better jump scare setups. Like
Yeah.
do you recall the first jump scare in the movie is actually a tree flying through the window?
Oh,
It's so whack, and you're like, ah, and you're like, oh wait, it's just a tree.
the biggest scare of the movie.
Yeah, like straight up. That's like the first like intentional big jump scare. It ended very abruptly.
Oh yeah,
We
it
we
did.
all noted in the viewing. We're like, what? It's over, like really abruptly.
The sister,
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
yeah.
like I guess she wasn't really a subplot, but she was just there for like
She was a plot device.
yeah, it's an exposition like dumper.
Yeah, that's right. A major
Kind of
dumper.
kind of like dropping information about like what dad had been up to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the dad is played by Barry Pepper.
Excellent name.
Yeah, right. I don't know. What do I know him from? Oh, I guess the classics: Saving Private Ryan, The Green Mile.
Oh,
He has that
shoot.
face.
Whoa, dude, crazy. He's from Campbell River. That's where my wife's from.
Oh my god!
Up
Small
north on the
town.
island here. That is so whack.
That's a small town. I guess I'm a small world.
Small, yeah. Well, it is a small town, but also a small world. Yeah. So
Oh
it's just so
wow!
random. My goodness. Yeah.
Nice. The sister, she gives a lot of information. The sister's name is Beth. She gives a lot of information about like what may have happened to their mom and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
And, like, you know, there's a divorce that happened, and
Yes.
he's still like at the house because that's
Yeah,
just
he
where
like cares about her, but she's
Yeah.
not even there. I remember that was very confusing for me. That Haley
Yeah.
went to go find her dad, and she went to his like condo first,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then
Yeah.
she's like, "He's not here. He must be at mom's house."
Yeah.
And she just like Spidey sensed it and went straight there. That was weird to me.
It was.
This movie's interesting plot wise and script wise because I think the actors did do great.
Mhm.
Overall, they were all very like into it. Their meetup too was a little weird because I know they intentionally didn't have the father and Haley interact for the first like third of the movie until she found him.
Yeah.
But when they met, it's like no time had passed, which is a nice thing. But like I don't know. I think it was meant to feel like she's going back begrudgingly to find him, right? Because he pushed her too hard, and she was resentful of that. And then her mom and him split up, so she was resentful of that. But when she showed up, she was just like, "Hey, he's in the basement."
Yeah, I was like, wait, because they built it up like there was all this stuff there with them.
Yeah.
And
But then there wasn't.
yeah. And maybe because she became concerned when she realized what was going on, she just was like, "Oh crap, like, are you okay?" But it was more like, "Dad, are you down here?" And I was like, "Wait."
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And to be fair, it's been like 3 months ish since we last watched this movie. Well, since I last watched it, so maybe my memory's fuzzy, but that's the memory. It stuck with me. That's how it felt. Yeah.
It was a little disjointed, like the emotions there.
Relationships were there, and that totally accounts for something. Also, wait, do you remember why he was even downstairs? They like highlighted, I think it was like his tool, like a screwdriver or something. Yeah. And he's got the shoulder scratches, which doesn't make sense. It's an alligator. Why would they use their claws on a shoulder that high up? And then he's just laying there unconscious. Like, do you remember any of that? I feel like
I remember
phased it out.
He was down there, he got attacked. But he went down further because he was trying to get away.
Right. There's like a blocking pipe thing. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
But him being knocked out implies that he was like he passed out from blood loss.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Either he passed from blood loss or he did like a Scooby-Doo, ran into a pipe after he you know what I mean?
Just imagine his feet doing like the little like wind up thing.
Yeah. Thunk, the classic thunk sound when he hits it.
He just didn't want to tell her that part because he was embarrassed.
There's a big red mark across his forehead. Dad, what happened to you? I don't know.
That part was a little clunky with the script, and like we talked about the sister. Because I don't know. I know with I haven't experienced a hurricane, fortunately, but I know people who have, and I know things happen. You don't know where people are if you don't live next to them. And so I understand that may be why she never could get a hold of him. Because I think it implied that she wasn't even in the same... Was she in the same state or city?
Yeah, I thought that too. Completely out of state even. And then she drove all the way over there to get him with the time of the hurricane build up.
Yeah, and like with the sister. So
where
was
is she?
Yeah, like was she... Because she was with her baby. And so I was like, would she like call local authorities and be like, hey, like they're still at the house? Because like I think she tried to call, but like the phone got... Oh, that was when the alligator like stepped on the phone.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes.
So I take back.
She's
what
like
I was
made the
say.
call, smashed the phone.
Oh, I guess they're not answering.
Yeah, I guess that's not the thing we're doing anymore. I have some notes about it. So first of all, Haley seems to obtain varying levels of superhuman power when the time is convenient. The first one being like super mega pain tolerance, which if I think if they set that up a little bit better, I would have been more believing in that. But like
Yeah.
they set up the long holding of the breath, the fast swimming, which to be fair, this fast swimming was way beyond realistic fast swimming. Like outswimming a bunch of alligators is I
Wait,
will
I'm
never
gonna
accept that
look
as
up
fact.
how fast does an alligator.
Dude, it's like 20 miles. They're so fast underwater.
Oh God. Oh
What is
God.
it?
Yeah, it's 25 and it says they can reach
Yeah,
on
see?
land they're like 35 if they're just
It's
walking.
it's crazy, bro. So like how? Anyway, the super pain tolerance. If they had like I don't know, showed like a montage of her taking punches under something. I don't know. It would make sense. But like she's getting
Trading
her
blows with the
leg
alligator. Oh my
chomped.
God.
Yeah, and she's getting death roll. Like her like
Oh yeah.
okay, at one point somebody loses an arm in the movie. Remember that? Like
Oh
the gator
yeah.
goes whomp
Oh,
and
to
rips the whole
dad.
arm off. Yeah,
Yeah.
to that. Yeah, and then she does not have that experience. She, in fact, the coolest, absolute coolest part of the movie. She puts the gun in the gator's mouth. And pop, 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 pop. But like I don't know. I just like these superhuman moments are just crazy to me sometimes.
Whenever her arm was in the gator's mouth with the gun part, I was like, "Oh, she has
Yeah.
a bionic arm. It's okay."
Yeah, it must be. It must be. The
Yeah.
bite down pressure activated the trigger. Like what is going on here?
I looked it up. Michael Phelps, who is an Olympic gold medalist,
Oh shoot, perfect example.
can swim at about what does it say? 4.7 miles per
Dude,
hour
not even close.
or 7.6 kilometers.
Not even close, dude.
They talk about a sailfish, which can do 200 meters in about 10 seconds. So
It's so crazy.
that's
So,
Haley,
like,
actually.
yeah, so Haley is a sailfish. Thank you. Also, this one moment where Haley uses like a I don't know, like a raccoon trap and catches the gator's launching mouth and entire
Oh,
head, and she like is able to hold it in that, where in reality the gator would have just smashed the box across her face. But
yes.
the superhuman strength moment was like that part definitely took me out, where I was like I groaned like what when she like boom puts it on him and he's like thrashing and then nothing explosive happens, and it's so bizarre to me because again we know that gators are incredibly strong, and I think that was probably the only moment of bad CGI in pretty much the whole movie.
Yeah, because it definitely
Otherwise,
wouldn't
the
hold.
rest of it looked really good. The rest of the CGI looked really good.
There's always that problem where characters who aren't important in horror or thriller movies, they just get killed off. So the way that there's kills, I feel like sometimes
Yes,
and
yeah, to
this
add to the count.
yeah, and this movie feels like that's exactly what it did. It killed like
Totally.
some thieves that were out.
Yeah, oh yeah, the looters were hilarious.
Yeah.
Remember, it was like that comical in the background. The guy was just getting rolled in the boat, and the guy in the front's like, I don't know, man.
When we're supposed to be getting the ATM,
And they were trying to steal an ATM.
just
So dumb.
dragging it to the boat.
I know it's kind of cliche, but it would have been cool to have like a scarred one, or one that she jammed the eyeball with a screwdriver and he keeps coming back at her.
Yeah.
You know, like that would have been cool. That would have been like a supernatural sort of thing that I would have been totally down for. Versus
Mhm.
like, yeah, suddenly she can, yeah, swim faster than a alligator. Like I don't know.
Since you mentioned that, we were talking about like things we would have hoped for. I really did want him to come back and be like the one, because then he became unimportant.
Oh,
And-
totally. Yeah.
yeah.
There was just so many more than just him, so it just didn't matter.
I think I would have also liked. I know it can be iffy, but something where she actually does escape, but it's like safer for her to be in the house, like something like
Oh
that.
yeah, to force her back in.
Yeah, something that
Yeah,
forces her
yeah.
back in. And I don't know what else they could have built around it, because obviously, she's tied to her dad or something like that. Maybe if there had been, because we mentioned earlier about the kind of animosity she kind of had towards him before she got to the basement, and then
Right.
they revisit that later when she's just like randomly like, why did you push me so hard?
Yeah, that's right.
And maybe it was like the fact that she thought they were gonna die, that she was like, I might as well just ask you, what the hell is what the hell was your problem?
Yeah.
But like and not to like diss it, like some of the moments were like nice because then you got some layers there. So what if there was something where the dad actually had like a respected knowledge about gators or something?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't know,
Then
that
he
way
would matter.
then he had something for him, because I'm trying to help him out because he's just
What if it was like a moment where he's like, and Haley, remember with gators always, and then he dies,
just
and then
gets
later
snapped away.
Yeah, and then she's like, "No, what do I do to survive this?"
I never listened to him as a kid.
Yeah.
Kind of jumping off of that into the performances, I thought they both did. I mean, I guess everybody in the movie, but since the movie really focuses on, I think her name is Kaya. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. I think
Mhm.
it's Scodelario.
Scodelario. Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds right.
and we mentioned Barry Pepper. They play Haley and Dave Keller, and I thought that they did fine with what they were given, which is, that's
Mhm.
always a way to be like, oh, the script was a little funky, but like the performances
Yes.
were nice, because you never want to discount like everything, because there are good
Yeah, I felt
aspects
the
to
same
both.
way. Yeah.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
thought they did great with the script, just like how we felt about 65. Like,
yeah, exactly.
the actors did great with the script they were handed.
I thought Sugar was probably the best, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Best swimmer, best
Yeah.
survivor.
Best distractor, best tell Haley where daddy is to smash with the crowbar so he doesn't die from drowning.
Oh
That part was
yeah,
tense. That was good tension, I thought. Where she had to go back in and find him because he was still underneath and she had to just smash away to get him out of it. That was cool. That sequence was very, very tense and exciting.
true. I guess I'll go back to the conversations, right? With the daughter and dad. Like I feel like they were great and they were needed, but I do feel like there are a couple points where we go back to them talking, and I feel like it takes me out, because then the action comes to a full like zero.
Total stop. Yeah,
Yeah, and I
definitely.
think then I'm aware that I'm watching a movie. Well, I guess we talk about a couple of things that took us out of the movie.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I have one big one.
oh, which one are you thinking?
The bathtub scene.
Oh
It's in
yeah.
the trailers and it's like cool concept, but not great. I don't know. I think just like so alligators are incredibly strong, like crazy strong. So I think just like a whip of the tail by accident would have shattered the glass door on the
Yeah.
shower. Like something along those lines. I just think like again, cool concept. But you know what? LL Cool J did it better in Deep Blue Sea with the giant shark.
Oh, classic.
You ate my bird.
Yeah, the bait and switch, let the creature in, dive out, shut the door, gasoline's on, explosion. But like we're meant to believe that gator is still in that shower today.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Forever. And it's huge. The gator's huge and somehow it's fitting in that shower. I don't think so, man.
What is his house? Maybe that's why she left. The mom.
I
She's like,
think
this is
it
just too.
I can never get out of the
I can
shower
never
after
get
I
out.
shower. Yeah, that was a big one that took me out. I was just like, because like again, we saw it in the trailers and we were kind of teasing and watching the trailers together before we watched the movie. And
Mhm.
when I got there, I thought it would be one of those things where they bait and switch us. Where in the trailer it's successful, but in the movie she like it's in and then it smash, it comes out and then
Yeah.
it still gets her. But nope, she just walks out of there basically. Going back to what you were saying about like the realization because of the movie was laid out and the realization like, oh, I'm watching a movie. I felt similarly, but not in that like, oh, it's a movie. It felt more like, well, I guess this doesn't matter, so I'm gonna look at my phone for a second. You know what I mean? Like that's when a movie takes me out, that's what it does to me. When I when I'm when I'm when a sequence is occurring and I just go, oh, okay, so this doesn't matter. This part doesn't matter. Like they're trying to pad out the time, so this part doesn't matter. It's just here so that it's there. Um, Definitely had a number of moments like that in this movie.
Yeah.
And all movies are going to have that. Not every single second of a movie is going to be thrilling and exciting, but like,
Hmm.
I think it's like the setup of the before and after the weird, boring part that really matters, because if they've got me worrying and caring about what happened currently and then what's about to happen, then I'm going to keep being interested in the downtime in between. And you're right, like the jumping back and forth to like not high octane action, but like action to just like dark, grimy, dull nothing
Yeah.
was a bit tough to sit through, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. And like those dull moments weren't even raising tension either, like in a tradition or not traditional, but like in other horror movies would do, or thriller movies would do. It wasn't even like building and raising tension for us to get ready for the next sequence. It was kind of jarring in that way, I thought.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
about like oh, very different, because Evil Dead like
Mhm.
they, especially because there's always a cabin in the woods, except with the
Yes.
most recent one. But like even in the most recent one, there are those moments where something crazy is going on or something that's just like jarringly different, but in a good way. But then they
Mhm.
may cut back to, you know, a character that's down in the basement that's like maybe having a conversation, and but like there's still like tension there because you're worried about what's gonna happen next. And I wasn't worried about what was gonna happen next when they were talking in the basement.
Yeah,
Um
yeah, like, those looters were inconsequential. Those
yeah.
cops were also pretty inconsequential.
Yeah.
I didn't think when the cops were dead, I didn't think, "Oh, no, now they're really screwed." You know, I did not at any
Yeah.
point worry, but I was like, "Alright, bye, cops."
I don't think I cared about, I don't know, would you say you cared about anybody?
Not really, except for
Yeah,
Sugar, 'cause
except for Sugar.
I did kinda care about the dad in that, like, I cared that he showed a semblance of, you know, love and care. I wish he died.
This is the
Somebody
second
that
review where
mattered
we're
should have
like,
died.
somebody
Oh,
should have
totally.
died.
Make no mistake, I wanted him to die at the end. That would have been the ultimate sacrifice. That's not what happens. He just gets to go home. He just gets to go home. But, like, that's the thing. That's, like, the biggest cop out is, like,
Mhm.
why set up these beautiful relationships and not end it with something awesome, exciting, and tragic? And, like, I know that's a horrible thing to say, but we know it's a movie. It's fiction. It's also
Yeah.
meant to be a horror movie. Like, the dad should have died, or Haley should have died,
Because
as
that would have
long as
that would
Sugar
have
doesn't
as
die.
long as it's not Sugar. Sugar actually is
Yeah.
the only one on the roof at the end.
That's how you make them redeeming characters, right? Like, the dad is so not unredeemable. He's like, he's set up to be like this, you know, hard ass, this guy who is kind of like, you know, toxic masculinity because of his raising. So he's, you know, like, he's clearly a dad that wanted sons, you know, that's like subtext
Mhm.
that's implied to me. And instead he got two daughters, so he's gonna push this daughter as hard as he possibly can. And he should have died, because
Yeah.
then her, or she would either live without being able to reconcile, you know, with him, being like, "Ah, Dad, I'm sorry, I should have did better," or they would have reconciled. He would have died, and she would have been like, "Oh God, thank God I had the chance to reconcile with my dad before he died, while saving my life." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he was in theory mortally injured when we found him. So
Mhm.
why not set like a time limit on his movie appearance time?
Yeah.
And, you know, but instead he was like the damsel in distress the whole movie, which is a cool twist, right?
Oh,
A
true,
nice
yeah.
flip on the cliche. I don't know, there wasn't enough. You're right, there's not enough stakes, there wasn't enough sacrifice. Like, useless nonsense people were killed so that you could be like, that was a sick death.
The movie Poseidon.
Oh
Have you
yeah.
Yeah, Kurt Russell died. Sorry,
Yes.
spoilers. And I remember
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
sorry.
like I remember at the time I was like, "Wait, what?" Because I mean, not that no one else in the movie was like, you know, like a name. I mean,
Mhm.
for crying out loud, Fergie was in the movie. But like I was just
That's awesome.
but you know, like there were well named actors in the movie, but I remember when he died, I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, the movie's over." Like
Mhm.
this is crazy.
Mhm.
And so
That's
like
right.
cuz I know there are some points where if you're really rooting for a character and you kill the main character, sometimes it can kind of bring a darkness to the movie if you weren't expecting
Totally.
it.
Totally.
But I
Yeah.
feel like in this case with Crawl, if they like, let's say with the dad, if they killed him whenever he was like banging on the pipes so he could get the alligator
Yes.
to come that way,
Yes.
and it like backfired on him or whatever.
Mhm.
And Haley saw it coming a mile away, but he was okay with it. Like, you know, you get his whole closure, and then her having to figure out, okay, how do I get out of here by myself?
Yeah,
Um,
like, I can't even picture it. Like, her goal was to get to that military, or that the police radio, right? I
mhm.
can even picture it. He's like literally sacrificing himself so she can achieve getting that, with her thinking it'll save both of them.
Yeah.
But then she gets it, she succeeds, and, you know, Sugar runs upstairs. Sugar, good. Wait, where's Dad? Where's Dad? Dad. You know, like, I can
Yeah.
picture it already. Like, that would have been so much more impactful than um one armed dad shows up. Like, that was the sacrifice. He lost an arm. That was the
That
sacrifice.
was it, yeah.
Well, I guess it sounds like I hated this
Yeah, I was gonna
movie.
say, do you recommend it to
Not
would you watch it
really.
again?
You know, on my notes, I put, yeah, I might want to watch it again someday. Maybe I'll take something new away from it. But after this discussion, I don't plan to watch this again. It was actually pretty pointless waste of 80
Yeah.
minutes.
I feel the same. I would say yes, I recommend this movie because I want everybody in the world to see this movie. Eh, What's your rating out of 5 geeks?
Okay, out of 5 geeks, I'm going to give this one like a 2.5. It wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen ever, obviously. It was good production value. The actors are good. The CGI was good overall. But just like script and story-wise, lots of failings.
You know, maybe I'll give it a 3 for the experience.
Totally.
And then I was like, no, I'm probably going to leave it at 2.5. This movie has a lot of problems, but this family is OP.
They're apex predators, dude.
And I said I was happy that I went back to watch it with friends who hadn't seen it for the first time.
Fun watch with friends, yeah. You can't take it seriously. You watch it, you have some fun. Maybe start a drinking game for every time a gator doesn't do something cool.
Feel free to maybe watch this movie, maybe not. Just depends on how much you can stand and how much. Or crawl. Oh,
stupid. Bad joke.
That's so great. Thank you, Kenneth, for joining me for this review.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Do you have anything that you want to recommend or plug?
I definitely want to recommend every couple of months sit down and chat with a friend for an hour about something that you did together. Usually a movie you watch. It's fun. You feel energized. Yes. And then you go do some dishes. It's great. Self-plug. I'm Kenneth the Minute everywhere. Check out the main channel, Kenneth the Minute on YouTube. Check out the Twitch. And also, I'm really, really deep into unboxing stuff these days, mostly Pokemon cards. So check out Kenneth the Minute Unboxing. And also the Instagram, Kenneth the Minute Collects. And also, if you're in Nanaimo, BC, British Columbia, Canada, I teach improv classes. So come look for me at Ask for Improv.
Yes, and you better. The threat. I was gonna say I'm Victoria Woe everywhere, but I'm not. I'm the Geeky.
You're super not, dude. You're wicked not that everywhere.
I'm the Geeky Sandbox everywhere except Twitter and Letterboxd. Yeah, so feel free to check me out on Twitch and my YouTube gaming channel where I take those VODs from Twitch and try to cut them down. And yeah, that's kind of all I have to plug.
Do it. Go watch Victoria's King of the Planet of the Apes from trailer reaction and discussion. It's excellent. Excellent.
See, that's a movie. You know, maybe we'll be back to that one day.
Maybe. That'd be a good one. Yeah. I want to review something that's good for once.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.